Lana Atkinson. I'm the director of the Leroy Collins Institute at Florida State University, and I'm the Leroy Collins Eminent Scholar in Civic Education and Political Science. And my work is in elections directly, so definitely the work of the Institute is including now a very big election component.
So the Florida AFL-CIO is an umbrella organization for the labor movement in Florida. During election seasons like now, I run a political program that is statewide. It's the largest volunteer political mobilization in the state of Florida. Voting is particularly low, especially amongst young people. And when people say, well, I don't think it makes a difference. Okay, how many times a day do people spend 15 or 20 minutes doing something that doesn't make a difference? Like, why not just carve out some time in your day, fill out a ballot, drop it in the mail?
My name is Odin Moja. I am the outgoing but still serving president of the FSU College Libertarians. And I think part of it is sort of a form of electoral fatigue. If you look at sort of news coverage from 20 years ago, what you see is that things get hyped up around the elections, news-wise and all that, during election time, and then it sort of dies down. Whereas now we've been in an infinite sort of news cycle of election news and political news ever more, especially with the advent of social media. That sort of stuff's just constantly in our faces, and I think that sort of drove some of the fatigue.
Well, I mean, people vote for many reasons, and one of them is a social reason, right? A huge reason why people are mobilized into the process is through their social networks. I mean, for Americans, again, politics for many of us, it's a really relevant. It's like a hobby. In America, politics is a hobby.
People might not want to be into politics, but politics is into them. It's the decisions we make at the ballot box that govern our lives.
I mean, the Constitution is relevant to voters, to citizens, to residents, to everyone, because it's really the foundation of our system of government and our values. It's our fundamental values. I think one really interesting thing that from research long ago they found is that when you ask Americans, like, what makes you American? They say things like the president and the Constitution, the Senate, and all of these things. They talk about our institutions of government. And I think that what brings people together in America is this ideal, because we are a nation of immigrants, right? That what is it that binds us? And I think fundamentally it's our belief in this election system, right? In the system that we have, the democracy that we have, the rights and freedoms put forth in that document. That's what makes us Americans.
I think it's still relevant just on the basis that it sounds a bit of a facetious answer, but it's still relevant in that it's literally the rules of your country and how your country is supposed to work. And I mean, even as a foreigner, I'm constantly amazed by how many American civilians, especially in the sort of millennial and Zoomer age group, don't actually understand what the Constitution does. On the other hand, I'm envious because I think it's actually a really, really good Constitution, because it encapsulates the original American bargain of dissolving power down, separating powers, putting powers in check.
Well, the Constitution defines the structure of what government looks like, but it also provides the limitations on that government and what those structures can do to any one individual. The first thing you do when you build a house is you build the framework. And then the windows, the color of the walls, the layout of the house inside, it can be anything. And so what we have done as a people and as a society and as a democracy, I think pretty well, is we've renovated.
I do think that America is unique, both our institutional design and our approach to democracy. Our documents are very flexible. They can adapt. It's not necessarily easy to adapt, but they can adapt. And I think that adaptive feature is relevant to the success of America. I think its federalism is also really important to the success of America, that you can have all of these different places across the country where they're doing different kinds of policy work. And then, that's very innovative. That leads to better policy in the long run. So I think these kinds of things, do make for a successful and prospering democracy.
At the end of the day, it is a democracy. And at the end of the day, most politicians want to do the things that the voters have told them they want them to do. It's really funny. I mean, if people talk about, nothing's work, everything's broken. The only way to fix it is to change the people that are there. And the only way to do that is to vote. The Constitution is everything right now. And if there's one right that could protect all the others, it's for people to vote.